Well, there it is. Finally assembled the Tech Kit Model 1253 Regenerative Short Wave Receiver. It's in the final stages of assembly. You can see I have just put the line on the knob. There's the speaker, bunch of batteries there, and of course everything inside the receiver. Now there was one problem I noticed before I did the final assembly, and that was the band select button didn't seem to be very stable in selecting the band. It's a counter. Every time you push the button it should move up by one increment, and it also should start at the bottom and go all the way up to the top. Well, I examined the circuit and I found the source of this problem. Here, first let's take a look. We'll turn it on. There we go. You notice it starts at the bottom where it's supposed to be. Now we'll push the button. If I can get my finger on the tiny button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's pretty stable now. Do that again. Yeah, if you push the button cleanly and you don't allow the button to bounce, it's pretty stable when it selects the particular band. Alright, let's turn it off for a second. The problem was caused by the lack of a decoupling or bypass capacitor for the counter chip that selects each of those outputs. And the solution was to place a 0.1 microfarad capacitor across pin 8 and 16 of the counter chip. And that way the counter chip doesn't talk to itself and turn into an oscillator and give you unstable problems. So let's take a look if I can move this over here. And you see now the capacitor standing on top of the chip connected between pins 8 and pin 16. If I get a little better view of that. There. That's all it takes. They had originally done an engineering change notice of putting a 100 microfarad capacitor across some other pins that didn't really seem to solve the problem. But this capacitor does solve the problem because it now decouples the capacitor, the chip from itself. The capacitor decouples the chip. And now I'm going to put the rest of it together, and hopefully this project is done. It's been sitting on my shelf for many years, and I finally decided I'll put it together, and there you have it.